YouTube, welcome to another episode of Head of the Game Podcast. We are back with another instant reaction. We just had Green Bay play the Commanders. Hell of a game. Don't forget that subscribe. Make sure the noties are on. Man, let's get right into this game. Let's start off with the Green Bay Packers. If you guys haven't watched my videos, I told you guys the Green Bay Packers are a legit Super Bowl contender. And I believe it is 100% the Micah Parsons effect defensively. Now, they were a good defense last year, but him being on this team, that just made them a whole notch better. You can see that front seven is extra energized. The pass rush is crazy. You got too many guys that you got to account for now. You got Rashawn Gary, you got Micah, you got Lucas Van Ness. You have a lot of guys that you got to account for, and watching this game, they could beat anybody. The biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC is legitimately the Green Bay Packers. And I believe defensively, they're probably going to be a top 10 defense this year. And it's all because of Micah Parsons. It's all because whenever he's on the field, you got to account for him, either if he's on the edge, if he's on the 3-tech. No matter where he is, he needs to be accounted for, and that's leaving one-on-ones for everybody. And Micah said it himself. He's never not had a All-Pro, a Pro Bowl, or a Pro Bowl corner. Somebody on Green Bay at corner is going to be a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro, because the way that the quarterback Jaden Daniels had to get the ball out, he's going to get somebody some pick sixes because they could sit on everything. They could sit on everything. They could sit on all the short to medium routes, and they're going to get a couple picks. Now let's go with the Green Bay offense. I believe after Andy Reid, I believe Matt LaFleur is the second best coach in the NFL. And let me explain why. His offense evolves, and it never seems to be the same. And I'm gonna get to Washington, and I think Cliff Kingsbury's offense is getting to that point, but Matt LaFleur, his offense never looks like it's the same thing. His offense evolves. His offense evolves with his quarterback, to his run game, to getting 9-10 players involved in his offense. And offensively, I think that they have it all. They can run the ball, of course, to Josh Jacobs. And like I said in my prior video, Jordan Love is going to have offensively, Jordan Love is going to have to take them where they want to go. And this year, I see Jordan Love. He looks more confident. He looks more composed. He looks more comfortable in the pocket. He's not forcing the ball downfield. He's not forcing the ball into tight coverages like he did in the beginning of last year. This year, I think he has 100% control of the offense. He can call audibles. He can do his protections. I think Matt LaFleur offensively gave him the keys this year, and you can kind of tell. It just looks comfortable and it looks different. I think Green Bay is 100% a Super Bowl contender, and I think they are the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC because they have the offense, they have the explosiveness on offense. Even though Christian Watson is out, he'll come back, and we don't know about Reed, but they have the explosiveness on offense, and they can run the ball. When that weather changes in November, December, when it's raining and it's snowing and it's cold, they can run the ball. They got Josh Jacobs. They can run the ball. So their offense really evolves now and deeper we get into the season. And I believe defensively, they got it. They got the two things that you need. They have good speed on the outside and good coverage on their back end. And they have a hell of a front seven that can get to the quarterback. And they have a consistent pass rush with Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness. Those are the two things you need on defense. You need a good back end that can cover and a good front seven that can get to that quarterback. I believe Green Bay has it. Now let's speak on the Commanders. Let's go. I think this is going to happen again. What was the problem with Cliff Kingsbury's offenses after week 8, week 9? It slows down. People catch up to his offense. And watching this game tonight, I think it's starting to happen. I think that I know it's only week 2. I know it's only the second week. But I think that teams are gonna start catching up to his offense because this always happened. when he was with Arizona. They would start off hot, rolling, winning games, but then after that mid-season point, after bye weeks came, they would get his offense would slow down because it's really repetitive. It's really repetitive. It's really, you can kind of see it now because what does he like to do on third down? He likes to have his guy sit at the marker instead of going past the marker. He wants them to sit at the marker, and that's why Green Bay was able to sit on a lot of these routes because his offense is really repetitive, and I think it's happening again in with Washington. I think that his offense is probably gonna happen to where it's gonna get stale. It's gonna get it's gonna get schemed out, and I hope that's not the deal with Cliff Kingsbury, because I mean he's him and Jaden Daniels make a hell of a tandem, but this is what happens to him. You know what I mean? We've seen it in Arizona. They start off hot, and then his offense kind of dries out because it's the same thing. It really doesn't evolve. It's a lot of screen plays. It's a lot of over the middle sit plays. It's a lot of dinking and dunking. Once he gets figured it out. Once he gets figured out, you can kind of tell it's a lot of dinking and dunking. And I think that a lot of defenses are going to start figuring him out. And I don't think that's the only problem with the Commanders this year. I think that Jaden Daniels doesn't have anybody. I don't think he has any real legit help on offense. I get he has Terry McLaurin, and I get he has Deebo Samuel, but I mean, come on. I don't think he has no run game. You cannot in this NFL, if you have a run game, that makes your offense 10 times better. The Commanders cannot run the ball at all. I mean, at all. I mean, it's gotten so bad that Jaden Daniels is the run game. That's not going to work in this NFL. Especially, like I said, when it gets cold, when it gets snowy, your quarterback can't be your main source of your running game. It cannot be that. You cannot have your quarterback out there taking hits like he did. He took a hit tonight. That's another big problem. The Commanders cannot run the ball. And I believe their offensive line they're going to need tremendous offensive line help. They are. I mean, they got Laremy Tunsil, but that's the only person they really got on their offensive line. And I do see the Commanders regressing this season, because offensively, they have no running game, and their dynamic player is Terry McLaurin. And this is one problem that I have with Deebo Samuel. He's the type of player that you gotta have an offense around him, made for him and made for his skill set. I don't think Cliff Kingsbury has integrated Deebo Samuel in this offense as good as he was with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. They don't really line him up anywhere. They don't line him up in the backfield. They don't line him up offset. They don't line him up really anywhere except for wide receiver. They barely get him in on the sweep plays, or they barely give him any screen play. They really haven't integrated Deebo Samuel into this offense, and I think that's Cliff Kingsbury. Again, his offense is his offense. I don't think he's really evolved as a play caller. I just think he had a better quarterback to run his offense that made his offense look like it evolved. And that's going to be a problem. Deebo Samuel is one of your playmakers, and you have not integrated him into the offense. Deebo Samuel is not just a wide receiver. He is I don't want to call him a gadget guy, but he is a guy that can line up in the backfield, take handoffs, and he's a guy that can take screen plays 30, 40 yards. He's a guy that can take a handoff, get you 10 yards, and he could be essentially your run game. You know what I mean? You could get him on jet sweeps. You can get him into this offense. But again, I just told you guys, Cliff Kingsbury's offense is his offense. He's not gonna change it. He's not. He just has a better quarterback to run his offense, and that's gonna be a problem. And I think they are going to take a step back. I really do. They have no run game. Their explosive plays, you can't really get explosive plays if you don't run the ball. There's no defense in the NFL that's going to bite on a play action if they know you cannot run the ball. And that's going to be a problem. Defensively, Dan Quinn is always going to have his defense up and ready to go. It's hard to keep an offense in this day and age. It's hard to keep an offense from scoring points. It's only a matter of time before they're going to score. And again, Dan Quinn, he does what he does. He's a defensive guy. And again, they held them to 17 points. And the Commanders had a chance to score field goals, and they missed them, and they had a chance to score points. But again, I think offensively is where they're going to have their downfall at. Jaden Daniels didn't play his best game, but when you're running for your life every time you snap the ball because your offensive line is beat up, he's snapping the ball. He has a little bit of time, but when you have to bring extra resources to block one guy, when you're chipping your tight end on Micah Parsons, you're chipping a running back on Micah Parsons, you're taking extra guys that you could have on routes and keeping them in to try to help your offensive line. That is a concern. Again, Jaden Daniels didn't play, his best game, but watching this game, whenever you snap the ball and whenever they block 5 against 5 and you snap the ball and somebody's in your face like that, come on now, there's no quarterback that can really handle that. You know what I mean? And I think, again, defensively, I think they're fine. One thing defensively they need is a consistent pass rush, and I think that's where they're lacking. A consistent pass rush where it's third down, you need to get to the quarterback. It's kind of hard for them to get that consistent pass rush, but again, Dan Quinn makes it happen with what he has. I think the big thing for the Commanders is the offense and them not being able to run the ball and them being able not to get that many explosive plays down the field. You cannot, and I mean this with the utmost respect, you cannot depend on a 34-year-old Zach Ertz to be your leading receiver when you have Deebo Samuel, you have Terry McLaurin. You cannot depend on a guy, again, a hell of a player, Zach Ertz, but that shouldn't be your leading receiver. And again, it's because they can't run the ball. They can't run the ball. They can't hit. And again, I think Cliff Kingsbury, his offense, it doesn't evolve. I just think Jaden Daniels runs his offense a lot better than Kyler Murray did. Because there's no way Deebo Samuel shouldn't have at least 10 carries. I'm sorry. There's no way you can't run the ball and say, Deebo, okay, hold on, let me get my playmaker involved. There's no reason Deebo shouldn't have 10 carries. There's no reason Terry McLaurin should have 10, 11, 12 targets. Again, I keep saying this, and I don't want to sound like a broken record. His offense is his offense, and it's not going to change, and it's not going to evolve. So I don't think he's ever had a player like Deebo Samuel, so he doesn't know how to scheme up a player like Deebo Samuel. And that's the big thing for the Commanders going in this year, and I think they are going to regress this year. And I think it's two things. It's no running game, and it's no offensive line. And it's one more thing. It's the offense looking the same. Because when we get to week 7, 8, 9, 10, and it still looks the same, that's going to be a problem. Even though Cliff Kingsbury is a hell of an offensive coordinator, his offense just doesn't evolve. Like Matt LaFleur, I said, his offense never looks the same. It never looks the same. I remember one year he used to always motion. This year he's motioning, but he's not always motioning on every play. Every play, Matt LaFleur used to average the most motions in every play. Now he motions. He doesn't motion as much, but again, he motions to see what you're in. He'll motion over left to right to see, man, they didn't move. They're in zone. Jordan Love, you know what to do. But again, this was a hell of a game. I love watching these early season games because it's week 2. And the only thing you can ask for right now is effort and execution. Because that's the only thing you have right now is you being the effort to tackle, to make the play, to get downfield, to cover the kick, to, jump on that football. It's effort and execution. Right now, you want to focus on execution, offensively and defensively. You know what I mean? It's only week 2. But again, I think the Packers are Super Bowl contenders, and they are the biggest threat to the Eagles this year. And the Commanders, I'm going to tell you right now, if they can't run the ball and their offense looks the same coming week 7, 8, 9, they're going to have a losing record. That's just my hot take. But again, this was another episode of Ahead of the Game Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe. I love when you guys comment. I love talking to you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.